Good morning, everybody.
Howdy from New Mexico. Kind of a dreary day today, isn't it?
Yep, cold and rainy. Good day to stay in and do videos,
I
huh?
can tell you one thing about living in the Southwest. When you wake up in the morning and it's raining, chances are it's going to rain most of the day.
Yes, yes. And we want to thank everybody for your patience. You know, I'm finally getting caught up on emails and messages and stuff, so we appreciate your patience with that.
And there's also a lot going on in the Jehovah's Witness
my
world,
goodness.
the annual meeting. And
Yeah. We appreciate your patience, too. We have a lot of stuff here on the desk that we want to cover, so this is going to be kind of like covering a bunch of little stuff, kind of like tidbits.
Tidbits, yeah.
Kind of cleaning some of this stuff up. So, anyway, first I want to mention that we had a couple of people ask us if there was any way we could edit our Rio Rancho video and take out like our parts of it and the apostate stuff and just do like a documentary so that it's more JW friendly. So that they could also post it on JW forums.
Yeah.
So that's what, the video that I uploaded yesterday is it's just the documentary and interviews without any of the apostate, or activism stuff, like us holding our signs and barging into the Kingdom Hall. And for those of you who have asked...
Don't go there. Don't you embarrass me like this.
I have to. Okay.
Please, honey. Have some respect for me.
It just makes you adorable.
Yeah.
But
listen to this.
But those who have asked, yes, that was me as the camera person barging into the Kingdom Hall, and yeah, I can't believe I did that either. I would have never guessed I would have done that in a million years. And also...
Funny story about this.
Yeah, kind of a behind-the-scenes type deal. Yeah, where was the big badass mountain man, the crazy tomahawk wielding mountain man when all of this was going on over at the Kingdom Hall? He was over in Mira's dining room having tea and cookies.
Yes, I was. I didn't know what they were doing.
But I was going to say, in his defense, I do have to say that we had all walked back to the Mira's house and we're going to have tea and cookies. And it's like, okay, where's Tyler? And we know how elders can get if you talk to them. And he said he wanted to go on the property and get a 360, video of it. And it's like, oh, I better go check on him. So when I went to check on him, that's when he says, come on, we're going in, you know.
Well, he was also talking to the other brother in the parking lot, too, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I was able to film that for him. And
the brother that didn't want to say anything but divulged a lot. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. And I did not have it in the video. Another thing is, as that brother was leaving the parking lot, he stopped his SUV right by us and said we had to vacate the premises or they were going to call the police. So just a few little behind-the-scene tidbits, of that day. And, of course, we've got more coming on that. I want to thank Peggy for sending me this in the new organization book, because we covered the page 8, paragraph 10, about how much authority was given Jesus Christ. So Peggy has sent me another good one, and this is the new organization book, chapter 16, the last paragraph, number 14. And it was real interesting, and I'm just going to read this and share it with you. Actually, let's start on page 154, paragraph 12. Set apart to do Jehovah's will. Our united worldwide brotherhood is organized to do Jehovah's will. At this time, his will is that the good news of the kingdom be preached in all the earth for a witness to all the nations. While we are doing this work, it is Jehovah's will that we conduct ourselves in accord with his high moral standards. We should be willing to subject ourselves to one another and to work for the advancement of the good news. As never before, this is a time not to seek our own personal interests, but to put God's kingdom first in our life. Keeping this in mind as we work together for the sake of the good news brings joyful satisfaction now and will lead to everlasting blessings. Okay, we're in paragraph 13. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we are unique, set apart from the rest of mankind as a clean, zealous in service to our God. Yeah, kind of reminds you of the whole Rio Rancho thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Our worship of Jehovah makes us different. Not only do we work shoulder to shoulder with our brothers around the earth, but we speak the one language of truth and act in harmony with the truth we speak. Excuse me, get choked up here. Okay, then they quote Zephaniah 3:9. Now this is where it gets interesting in what Peggy sent me. Like I said, they're quoting Zephaniah 3:9 about how it changed the language of the peoples to a pure language, okay? Then Jehovah inspired Zephaniah to describe the worldwide brotherhood that has become a reality today. Those remaining of Israel will practice no unrighteousness. They will not speak a lie, nor will a deceitful tongue be found in their mouths. They will feed and lie down, and no one will make them afraid. Having gained an understanding of Jehovah's word of truth and made over our mind and conformed our way of life to Jehovah's standards, we are able to work in unity. We accomplish what appears to be impossible in the eyes of those who view matters from a human standpoint. Yes, we are indeed a distinct people. Now you may be wondering, why I read all that about how, no lies, and in that whole Rio Rancho theme,
Well, this whole thing in Zephaniah is really self-incriminating. Let me just read that scripture by itself. Zephaniah 3:13. And as regards the remaining ones of Israel, now keep in mind, Jehovah's Witnesses do call themselves spiritual Jews. They are the spiritual Israel of God.
Yeah.
So they've made that equation themselves. As regard the remaining ones of Israel, they will do no unrighteousness. Really? You disfellowship people on hearsay. That's not right. You separate family members because we disagree with some of your teachings. That's not right. Nor speak a lie. Every time you flip-flop a doctrine, you speak a lie. And there's more coming.
That's the problem we had with elders for years.
Yeah, because,
lying.
Nor will there be found in their mouths a tricky tongue. With the recent...
reminds me of Kobe Tim.
Kobe Tim, yeah. And then also the recent annual meeting where Let is trying to redefine when they went into the spiritual Babylonian captivity. He's speaking with a tricky tongue. Every time new light appears, you're speaking with a tricky tongue.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bring all this up is what I did is I posted our video on jehovahswitnesses.net. Now, I usually don't post things like that because we've had some bad experiences in the past there.
Yeah.
And this just goes to show. And, this comment really upset us. And then it's like, it made me angry. But then it's like, you know what? This just tells me this is a Jehovah's Witness or an apologist.
Yeah, probably an apologist.
Yeah.
Somebody, because it's absolutely ridiculous when you see what I'm about to do to this commenter.
Yeah. So this is Radigan 350, and it says Loesch does not take care of day-to-day activities of JWs. He is on the governing body. He gave the proper principles. The people don't always follow it. The guy making the video has a beard, so he lost credibility, and the woman is a piece of work herself. Well, I'm sorry if you think I'm a piece of work. Is it possibly because I am blunt and speak my mind and tell it the way it is? Is that why I'm a piece of work?
And then this idiot, whoever this person is, says, I've lost my credibility because I have a beard. Go get the greatest man who ever lived, knucklehead. Do you see the man dying on the cross that represents Jesus Christ? Hey, he's got a beard, so he has no credibility. When he died for your sins, there is no credibility in that death. Just because a man wears a beard doesn't negate, is that the right word, whether he has credibility or not. This is how screwed in the head some of these people are.
Yeah. But Radigan 350 ends the comment by saying that this, talking about the Rio Rancho video, is a non-issue that they are blowing up. So I responded back and I says, why don't you go to the Jim and Janet Facebook page, Save Jim's View, and you tell them You know, that
Yeah.
we blew it out of proportion and this is a non-issue. And I posted a picture of Jim and his daughter.
But how is it that an elder lying a non-issue? If these elders are willing to lie to non-Jehovah's Witnesses, they're probably even more comfortable lying to Jehovah's Witnesses. How could you ever consider that a non-issue when somebody lies? My goodness.
Well, what's interesting about this is they couldn't attack anything that was in the
No.
video itself. They had to attack us and then say we blew it out of proportion and then this whole issue is a non-issue. You know, so they cannot rebut it.
They can't argue the video, so they have to attack the messenger. And that shows you how screwed in the head some of these people truly are.
Yeah. And I know we haven't done a subliminal image in a while, so we've got one right here for you. For those of you who have seen the September 1st, 2015 Watchtower, and what I am going to do is right up here, there is a little girl with hair done up really nice with barrettes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a close-up of this picture right here and see if you can see it. Did you happen to catch it?
Those barrettes are arranged very peculiarly, aren't
Yeah,
they?
let's post it again. Did you guys happen to notice that her barrettes kind of look like the letters S-E-X?
Yeah, Watchtower's still at it, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
Okay. Oops, that's a wrong one. All right. We've got another elder's letter, and I guess it got lost in the pile here. But it's interesting because now those who are going to be speakers at conventions and Bethel and all of that, they are going to now be rated.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D. And it's like, wow, you know, how cult-like is that? But the biggest thing is if they're going to be rating these brothers, it's the good old boys club all over again that we've seen in our old congregation in Arizona.
Yeah.
Because whoever has the favoritism of the circuit overseer, they're the ones that get the parts.
They'll get the better ratings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So nepotism and, you know, all of that.
It's all cult. It's
Yeah.
all cult.
Yeah. And also, I've had a couple of people send me this information. This one comes, from the Unknown Apostate.
Oh, we
Hi,
haven't
sweetie.
heard from him for a little while, have
Actually, I
we?
talked to him yesterday. It was nice
cool.
talking to you. Yeah, he's been busy with work, so he hasn't had much time to send us stuff. But it was interesting because he sent us this. Now, we all know JW.org. I mean, those logos are everywhere.
got
They're on
tie
the Kingdom
tacks.
Hall. Witnesses have them bumper stickers on their cars. They've got signs on the side of the door.
Backpacks.
They are flying blue JW.org flags now, you know, in front of conventions, in front of Kingdom Halls. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. You know, the two sisters that showed up here to talk to me, the one had a big old blue button, you know, right on her shirt.
Well, that's because they're campaigning for a name change.
I guess. So Unknown Apostate sent us this. This is from the 1974 Kingdom Ministry question box. Is it fitting to display the Hebrew or English letters of the Tetragrammaton on automobiles, jewelry, and other items?
Hey, can you guys guess where this is going to go?
Yeah. Well, back in 74, they didn't have the JW.org logo, but the principle still applies.
Well, but I do remember seeing many cars in the Kingdom Hall parking lot with the little, stickers in the back windshield of the Tetragrammaton.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So they give this explanation of how, it's your own conscience and stuff. But this last paragraph is what's interesting. As Jehovah's servants, we are responsible to uphold the dignity of His name. This is done primarily by preaching and by setting a good example in Christian living. Should the public display of the Tetragrammaton detract from that, it would obviously not be fitting. Furthermore, we do not want to give others the impression that the Tetragrammaton is the symbol of Jehovah's Witnesses as a whole. We have no organizational symbol to identify ourselves, but show that we are Jehovah's Christian Witnesses by living in harmony with God's will.
But that's old light.
That's all light, doesn't matter anymore.
Now, how distracting is it be when Jehovah's Witnesses come to your door and they're trying to preach the Bible and they have a big old campaign button that says jw.org.
Well, especially since it was a sleeveless tank top, and every time she moved, it was like pulling her shirt down. So, I mean, if I was a guy, looking at that, it was distracting enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this lady better pull up her shirt,
So now it makes you question what's changed from 1974 to where it's now acceptable for Jehovah's Witnesses to be recognized by an organizational logo. Why has Jehovah changed his mind?
Yeah. Okay, so we got a couple of shout outs. So let's just do a shout out to everybody. Everybody's been doing a bang up job on YouTube lately. And JW Fairy Tale, he, retired and did his last video. Love you, sweetie. And we hope someday something will
and
bring you out of retirement.
For all the work that you've done in the past.
Yeah. In fact, I think I think it was like the second or third apostate video we watched was his Sparlock out of control.
Yeah.
And at first we were kind of horrified because we were newly out, but then we just couldn't help ourselves. We were just laughing so hard, and even to this day we have to watch it every once in a while when we want to laugh,
Fairy Tale, just like Pearl Harbor being bombed, your video, Sparlock out of control or whatever it is, will live in infamy. It truly will.
Yes.
Yes.
And Winston of Watchtower Examination, we watched your number 90, Witnessing to Jehovah's Witnesses, this morning. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, he did a really good job.
Yeah, he's actually doing a few of those in a series. And in fact, some in the XJW community have even asked us if we've watched these yet. And unfortunately, we just haven't had much time to do it. So we sat down and watched number 90 this morning. And boy, Winston, you really did a really good job. My hat's off to you.
Yeah, his YouTube channel is Watchtower Examinations. So.
Yes, and I do have to agree with you, Winston. We don't wake Jehovah's Witnesses up. You use the Holy Spirit as being the one teaching, the one waking up. We're just basically the mouthpiece. And Kim and I, for a long puppets. Here we go. Kim and I, for a long time, have even told ourselves that we don't wake Jehovah's Witnesses up. The purpose of our channel is not to wake Jehovah's Witnesses up. If Jehovah's Witness decides to click on it for the very first time, we recognize that Jehovah's Witness is already conflicted. Otherwise, they wouldn't be hitting the button on any apostate video, just like my mother, her mother. They're not conflicted enough to get past that fear to click the button. But this is what I keep my focus on. It's the words of Christ, and it's a situation that can be found at John chapter 10, and we'll start at verse 24. Therefore the Jews encircled him and began to say to him, How long are you to keep our souls in suspense? If you are the Christ, tell us outspokenly. Jesus answered them, I told you, and yet you do not believe. The works that I am doing in the name of my Father, these bear witness about me. But you do not believe, because you are none of my sheep. My sheep listen to my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give them everlasting life, and they will by no means ever be destroyed, and no one will snatch them out of my hand. Jehovah's Witnesses, how many times have you sat at some public meeting and you've heard watchtowers speak about false apostles, listening to the voice of a stranger, and all
Oppressive
these
wolves.
things, oppressive wolves, which I think Let just gave a talk during the annual meeting about oppressive wolves slipping in. Go back and reread those scriptures under a thought of prayer, because Jesus is saying, I give everlasting life. Does it make sense that Watchtower comes out and says, well, unless you become part of the organization, you can't be saved through Armageddon? Those words that Watchtower uses directly contradict the words right out of Jesus' own mouth. But see, there again, that's why I don't worry about spending all my time and effort trying to wake up a Jehovah's Witness. Because when an activist says the right thing, they're going to hear the voice of the true shepherd. And then that conflict begins inside them to where they actually break through that barrier of fear that Watchtower controls them by. I've used scriptures before, I believe, if I remember correctly, from the book of John, that says there is no fear in love. And yet Jehovah's Witnesses say, oh, we're the most loving organization. Then why do you people have so much fear of leaving? Why do you have so much fear if you hear there's a change in policy? You got to stop and realize that these changes in policy is just to further control you. Break through that fear. Listen to the voice of the true shepherd, not these false teachers that keep changing light. Man, those guys change light bulbs as much as any household in America changes a light bulb.
And we also have another video that we watched. Jehovah's Witnesses speak out satanic propaganda for kids. And this is of the YouTube channel Son of Thunder. And it was real good because he took one of the JW.org kids videos, and he goes into the lightning bolt. And he's absolutely right. It's this really weird superhero drawing that, is almost kind of creepy. What's with these muscle arms, coming out of the guy's head like horns? I mean, so check it out.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So...
Is that it for the tidbits?
I think so, unless we forgot some in the stack here, so...
We probably did. Well, we've got some clips from the annual meeting that we're going to go back through. We're going to share some of
oh my goodness, yeah.
some of these scriptural thoughts again, just in case you missed this particular video.
All I could say is, yeah, I am going to do that. Jehovah's Witnesses, told you so.
Yeah.
We've known for over a month now, that they were going to be shutting down construction and stuff. Now it's been confirmed right from Samuel Hurd, the governing body themselves. So we'll have that clip too. So you all have a great day, and
bye.
We'll talk to you later.